All right, good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Black Market Podcast presented by Hack the Markets. I am one of your co hosts, AC, aka the Market Oracle.
Jerome Vince, aka the Market Prodigy.
Mm.
Raheem Carswell, the dream is here.
Hey,
Kenneth Crowder, and they came out with their names beforehand, so I'm gonna just pass it to. There we go. I'm gonna point
Hey, we gonna get you a name.
I gotta give me a name.
I'm gonna make you one.
That's right.
I'm gonna make you one. Let me see. I got
And my name is Pierre Guarzin. Uh, let's let's hack the market.
you. All right,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
So
Let's get
y'all guys are funny. So let's see. We got a couple market things out here. One thing in particular that I want to talk about. This thing caught me by surprise. I'm pretty sure it's gonna catch other people by surprise. We now have a double mutant of COVID. So now that means that we might have the X-Men out here giving us COVID. So now we don't know how to fight this thing. Double mutant. What does that mean? What does a double mutant COVID mean? Like, what is that? I have no idea. Double mutant.
mute.
I mean, is that sounds pretty powerful to me. I'm gonna say that. That sounds pretty powerful to me. A double mutant. That doesn't
That
sound
sounds
like
like
a
we're gonna.
COVID vaccine finna fight that one.
Man, that sounds just like the flu, where that flu shot is for like so many different strains of it. Let's say it's for 10 strains, but you might got 20 strains out there. So it ain't gonna give you real coverage.
Yep.
Because I mean it's mutating, it's changing on its own, it's adapting to its surroundings or whatever, so that it can continue to survive.
Yeah.
So I mean that's just gonna put more pressure on Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson.
Exactly. Does anybody have Magneto and the rest of the X-Men team number though? Because we probably can get this solved if we did.
I also have not figured out whether I'm gonna be on the good team or the bad team.
What?
Hey,
What?
I think I might be on the good team. Only because though. But that's crazy. So with this double mutant going around, they also had this big. Did you guys see the baseball game the Texans had where they opened up the
Yes.
game and it was
Yeah.
a full packed out game over like 30, 40,000 people there.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
said that they,
man.
hey, and
Man,
guess what?
Texas,
It was in Texas. So you know Texas is 100% open. They had the
Oh, that's
game.
true. True.
That's
well,
the
let me
only
ask you
team in
this:
the MLB that's doing that. And what
did
they
they
did is
have
they
any
said,
mask?
yeah, they told you to keep the mask on, but then they said, so this is what they said. They said they're gonna tell you to keep the mask on, and if you come in and you don't have the mask, they're gonna give you a warning, and then you might be kicked out. But it's a possibility that you get kicked out. It's not necessarily saying yes, you will definitely get kicked out if you don't have the mask on. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of people in there, probably no mask, things of that nature. And where it
I got
was,
I got so used to wearing these masks. I might just wear them now and just keep wearing them.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
people didn't.
exactly.
We didn't hear about that when it was cold outside. So I think they do something. So I won't catch me without it.
Exactly. And then so now we're looking at that. They're trying to say that they did not start a super spreader event. They're saying, but then again, they also say that all the doors and the roof that was closed. So COVID all through there, man. So we might have a triple mutant going on in Texas right now. And let's
All
see.
I gotta say is contact tracing. Or
Yeah,
if it come back to the game.
what it is, they double in the double, so that's a quadruple mutant. So we are going crazy out here in Texas. All right. So then with that being said, they actually had they had some people die that went to the March Madness. Like one of the Alabama fans actually died that went out there from COVID complications. So that right there, I don't know, man. They're telling me it's fake. They tell me it's real. I don't know. I'm staying in the house because I believe it's real.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you really staying in the house?
You know it.
Oh man.
So that's some interesting news. What y'all feel about that, man?
I mean, I know that people are ready for the economy to open back up, and you want to be on the front edge of that because first of all, you got two different agendas here. You got you got
Mhm.
people's health and people getting cabin fever and stuff, but the people who are really pushing this, I don't think that they have
I think we lost you, Jerome.
one's financial drivers.
Right.
MLB has been down because hey, they're looking at profits. If people aren't there at the games, they can't be buying beer and food out of concession stands.
Yeah.
MLB, they got to fill those seats to appease the business owners, the television, the commercial. Bills still have to get paid, so
Mhm.
they want those people in the seats. But
Hey,
what
you
about
guys know
the games?
hey, you know they had with those games, I think it was because they moved it from Atlanta, the All-Star game. A lot of people have been trying to
Yeah.
boycott MLB too, so that I don't know. This was only one team that did it though, so I can't say the whole Major League Baseball is just trying to give people this double, triple, quadruple X-Men stuff, but at the same time, uh the Rangers messed up for that, man. That's all I can say. The Rangers messed up. I don't know what they was thinking about. Because even the other Texas teams like Houston and all them, they didn't do this. So I mean, like, what you thinking about, Rangers?
Now, that game was packed.
It was packed, man. Like people were probably climbing over the fences and everything to get inside that
Crazy.
thing. It was so many people. All right. So we can switch the topic real quick. We can jump into some market news really quickly. Cause we know it was brought to our attention by Jerome that we had Archegos out here messing up the markets a few days ago, probably like last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. We have now found out that they were screwing these banks, like the banks that were lending the money. They have now made them have to put huge losses on their balance sheets because they were lending the money, and of course, when they collapsed, bank isn't going to get them their money. They're not going to get their money back. So now we have Credit Suisse on the line for almost a $5 billion loss, 4.7 to be exact, all because of Archegos capital management going down. They wanted to
Oh,
over leverage, and now they are taking the banks down with them. Now you can
that made
see why Robinhood was limiting trades, because it probably wasn't Robinhood making people limit the trades.
for the show, man. And I'm like, man, look at Chris. Why did it dip so much? That's why.
Exactly.
But my
Yeah.
thing is, why did the banks allow them to over leverage that much in the first place? Or is it the bank's fault?
It's not necessarily the bank's fault, but I will say this: partially the bank's fault. Partially the bank's fault because Credit Suisse has actually now gotten rid of their top people that do the risk management and things of that nature. So the risk and investment banking department heads, both of those guys are gone now.
Mm.
So with that being said, you got a risk department and all that type of stuff that's supposed to do the underwriting, that's supposed to catch some of this stuff, and I guess they didn't, so they got into this.
You know what? I
Got
mean,
into this.
if you think about it, the whole process worked like it's supposed to. When you it's lots of people have margin accounts.
Yep,
Margin accounts means that you're borrowing money to be able to make these trades. And it sounds like, quite frankly, they just got caught with their pants down,
they
where
did.
they had these phone calls or whatever. They had money that they borrowed for their margin accounts, and we know from the 10-year yield hikes or what, especially if they were invested in a lot of technology companies, those high growth companies were the ones hit the most by those 10-year yield hikes.
Hmm.
So we had a period of about 2 months where everything was dropping.
Yep.
So I mean, they were just like a victim of circumstance. and it just so happened that they got caught in a margin call.
That's what it
And
is.
just like it's supposed to happen, the bank is supposed to say, hey, we shutting you down,
You're too over leveraged in one position.
right?
So some other things that actually happened off of this for Credit Suisse is they are now cutting their dividend and they are freezing buybacks as well too. So a few headwinds that they need to go through. Hopefully they can turn them into some tailwinds, but as of right now, not looking too good for
So,
Credit Suisse.
do you think that because right now, from an investor's point of view, Credit Suisse has a good looking, it has an attractive buying and right now. Do you think the news right now, this negative connotation in the news that they have right now, is going to prevent people from jumping on it right now? Because people they buy the dip. I mean, it took a heck of a dip right now.
So I'll say this: retail might buy that dip. Big boys might not, just because it's too much going on. They're understanding that dividends are being cut, so that right there takes a lot of people, all your dividend people out. So anybody that was investing for dividends, they're not going to be putting in too much. Um, Buybacks, with the buybacks, you know that the price is going to be depressed now, because the buybacks usually make the price go up. And then just knowing that you just lost $4 billion, I mean almost 5 billion, that don't put confidence in your investors. So, nah, I don't think people gonna really be trying to line up to jump on this one right now, especially with them having like such terrible risk and investment banking heads. Like, who is gonna be the replacements? There's a lot of questions in there. So, I'm not gonna say that they're just left for dead, but at the same time, I would say that I would put them on a watch list and wait.
Sit on chill for a while.
Yeah.
I want to switch topics real quick. I got a question for y'all.
Okay.
What's that?
What do y'all think about when you think about the city of Detroit? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Michigan,
Motor
Like-
City.
University of Michigan.
Blight,
Like,
Motown.
Motor City.
so
depression.
I'm hearing Motor City, but is
Yeah.
Motor City really Motor City anymore?
What?
Think
I
about
don't think
it.
it is, because they don't even push cars out of Detroit anymore, do they? They close all the
Right.
plants up there, right?
Right. Motor City is not Motor City anymore.
Right.
Detroit is like a ghost town right now. It's just a shell of themselves. Like you go there, you see abandoned buildings. Because you remember
Yep.
a few years ago, they had those buybacks, those bailouts or whatever, because GM and all the other places, they were going bankrupt. And really, it's when the gas prices started going up, because you used to see on the road those big vehicles like your GMCs, like your Yukons, and all those large SUVs that everybody fell in love with. But when the gas prices started going up, people stopped buying them. So I mean, now people have gone back to like cars and electric vehicles, those huge vehicles like the gas guzzlers or whatever. People, so it's supply and demand. So the demand went down on it. So they had to ramp down their production, and then they started closing those factories. Well, that industry there in Detroit was mainly based on those factories. So when they closed down those factories, people didn't have any jobs anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, you look at it now, you got boarded up houses and buildings where they abandoned all the plants or whatever. So that you fast forward to me looking yesterday at a commercial, and I see this Hummer. I was like, okay, why they coming out with a Hummer? Nobody finna buy no Hummer right now. It take $150 to fill up the tank. But no, no regular Hummer. This was the all electric Hummer. And I was like, what? I mean, they showed this thing like climbing over rocks or whatever. And they said like coming soon or whatever. Like this thing is coming in like 2024.
The thing got 1,000
already-
horsepower.
What's that?
It got 1,000 horsepower.
Does it really?
Yeah, I ain't playing.
Oh my God. When I saw this, all I thought of
What you
was
said?
That might jump out the line.
And boy, strong man. That's that double COVID, man. That's that double COVID strength.
oh Lord.
got outrun.
Oh man.
But not only are they saying that it's going to be an all electric Hummer, but they're also saying that there's going to be an all electric Silverado coming out. But
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Chevy,
the
baby.
here
Chevy,
is
baby.
not necessarily what they're doing, is where they're going to be doing it at. They announced that they're going to be building both of these vehicles at their plant that they're calling their Factory Zero plant in Detroit.
Oh wow. Okay.
What I saw there was like, man, that's their knight in shining armor there.
Right.
So
Yep.
it's like their ground zero. They're putting the Motor City thing back in Detroit. And I think that's just gonna boost their economy so
Yeah.
much
Yeah,
there.
Oh
that
So
yeah.
is gonna be good. That's gonna be real good because see, they've been going down so bad up there in Detroit. I'm not gonna
Man,
talk about it too long, but when I was with a government entity myself, we modeled a land bank after what Detroit did because they had so many dilapidated properties and things of that nature, tax liens and tax delinquencies and things of that nature that they had to put together what is called a land bank. So you guys can kind of look at that later. That's a little bit off topic right now, but pretty much that's where you can kind of like just get this land and repurpose it just because it's so much blight in the city. But yeah, that's good news for Detroit, like all the way around.
I was about to say while we on that energy topic, man. I know on the last call we kind of were indecisive on with OPEC increasing their production on
Mm-hmm.
oil and if they will be able to withstand that and be able to have enough people to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the news that we have coming out with GM and all these EV companies are pretty successful, and I got a nice good look thing just for the EV companies.
Hey,
The
okay.
chip, baby.
The chips.
you about to eat chips.
We ain't talking about Lay's, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, but they will buy you a lot of Lays. Whoa, whoa,
Look. So we was a little indecisive on if it's gonna be a high demand or low demand. Like I said, with what the information Jerome has shared, and now New York is actually filing a lawsuit on a large amount of the oil companies, including Shell, Chevron, BP, and a
Oh
few
wow.
more.
Dang.
And the reason they're filing this lawsuit is because they're pretty much putting blame of the climate on these gas companies, and
Mm.
everything with the greenhouse effect and everything getting damaged. They're trying to place this all on the gas companies. So they have quite a few things and challenges to go through with the lawsuits and EVs pushing them. So these guys may not be able to sell all this gas that they're trying to ramp up in production.
That's crazy. Wow. So I mean that gas prices might come back down then. That's not bad for
You're
me.
gonna have some low gas.
Yeah, that bad boy need to be free.
yeah, man.
399.
What
That
they
free
gonna do?
99, baby.
Stockpiles of gas or whatever, and then everybody's just gonna be riding around in electric vehicles.
Exactly.
But I mean, we're
Laughing at it.
talking about all electric vehicles, but there's still a market because there's going to be a transition, and there are still hybrid vehicles that take gas,
Oh yeah.
Those
and
probably gonna be
it's
non-existent though.
and most people because of the limited range. I know they're working on the range of the electric vehicles and stuff, but most people who are going to have these electric vehicles, let's be honest, they're probably going to have two vehicles. Their primary vehicle and like
Right.
there
A
aren't
long
enough,
range vehicle.
yeah,
Hmm.
there aren't enough
I do.
charging stations out there to me for you to say, okay, I'm gonna go on a road trip in my electric vehicle. Like that's just not there yet. So you're still gonna be like your everyday commute. Yes, I can see you using your electric vehicle. You might charge it at work or you might charge it up at home or something like
Yeah.
that. Land route, but just riding around and like going out of town or whatever, you still gonna have to depend on your normal, gasoline car for that.
Yeah. Yeah, for the time
Yeah,
being especially.
I was gonna say,
Hey, I was about to say,
let's. Oh no, go ahead, Raheem.
also on that I think Tesla just got an upgrade. We're expecting to see 1,000 on that thing.
Oh
So
yeah. You
we
remember I
got
think
some
we said
bulls.
1300 for the long term price target.
That's why Elon Musk was strutting across the stage.
I
What you
would
about to
too.
say, Jerome?
Yeah, what you had?
Not Jerome Pierre.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the electrical vehicles. You're more likely not gonna take a road trip in an EV, and that makes sense because we haven't been seeing, like, I guess until we start seeing gas stations start implementing charging.
Yeah.
Go ahead and beat
If
the
they're
trend.
Exactly.
if they're funny, the gas stations probably need to go ahead and change their business models to that, or they are basically they're dinosaurs on. They may become extinct in the next 5 or 10 years. Think about Kodak. I always use that as an example. Everybody had those disposable cameras.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that company? Their whole business model was on cameras, and now they got replaced with smartphones.
Yep.
Nobody has film anymore. So
Right.
you have to be able to change with the times. So like you said, there aren't going to be any more gas stations, or they're going to be few and far between. So they need to evolve. Well, maybe they need to start buying into these companies that are doing the charging stations, because we know that there's definitely going to be an increase in demand for those. So they might as well get ahead of the game. They've
Yeah.
already got
Yeah.
they got the land for it already. They're in the prime locations already.
Hey, if they don't get ahead of the game, we gonna get ahead of the game on them.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Right. Don't
Yeah, I
let me
think.
mess around. How about me a charging station?
Yeah.
I'm
Look,
Come on, man.
we already have
Man.
it. So it's a matter of time before they start to the government, starts to require that at least some part of your car is.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
once
They like
once
to put those
yeah.
restrictions on them, man.
Yeah.
They like
it
to
is
tell
on
you
the
what you can do and what you can't do.
yeah.
I mean, that's the whole reason behind like the emissions testing or whatever. They can up the ante on that and change the requirements.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. And
Yeah,
what's
they say, hey, it's only acceptable for you to have like a emissions level of like 10% or something like that. What if they drop that down to 5% or 1%?
yeah. It could be a lot of different things like that.
It's hack the market to electric trading.
There we go.
It was one of them hack the markets gas stations. I'm mad at that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. Real cool.
Diversify our business, our portfolio.
Oh yeah. And see, like I think depending on which route you go, I think you might be able to make it from Atlanta to New York, like in an electric vehicle. Because I think like some of these paths do have like a lot of
Yeah.
what they do is they have these charging stations along the paths. So I think they had like roughly 1,000 or more charging stations between here and there. It's some crazy number like that. But if you take the right path, you can go. If you don't, then you're gonna be stranded. So it's gonna take a little bit more planning if you want to take an electric vehicle on a road trip. But I'm not gonna say it's impossible. You just got to know where your charging stations are. Plan that thing
But
out a
how
little
long
bit better.
does it take to charge? And like, you might go to a charging station, it might be like 1 or 2 there. But what if it takes like an hour?
Yeah, so I think the
Wait,
I want to say they
heck
take
no.
about 5 or 10 minutes. Like if you go to one of those hard lines, I think it's like 10 minutes or something, 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a fast charger, boy.
Yeah.
Right.
For a car, especially, yeah. But I think it's like because it's built into the ground, it's got like some super high voltage that's going on. Cause at the house it's not gonna charge that fast.
Okay.
But I'm not the EV expert, so I just know a little bit about it. So
But it's cheap now. But I wonder if when they're making it cheap, so it's attractive. I wonder how much do they charge for that when you're charging out in public, and then once everybody starts to catch on to EV, are they going to increase their prices because they know that it's no longer a luxury or whatever? Like this is the base right here. So are they going to raise their prices like gas just to take advantage of that?
it possibly. You know these capitalistic people over here, man. They'll raise the price on air if they could.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's facts.
Don't breathe unless you got $1.
You might be better off keeping your gas vehicle.
Exactly.
Hey, you might
Have
save
me
a
a
lot of money
stockpile of
after
like
a while.
about 30 barrels in the backyard. Pop them open whenever I need some gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's too funny. Kenneth, I know you had something that you was talking about earlier with what was it, housing or something like that, international or something like that.
Yeah, so it's called D&K, and with everybody starting to want to go back outside, all of the housing market and everything is going to change. But in China specifically, they're for like short-term leasing, or they do like they build up versus building out there. So they're like a residential rental service and a co-living platform.
Okay.
And so they took a hit kind of when everything shut down, but I think once all of our spending comes back and especially economy starts booming, man, that thing's gonna take off. So it's been interesting to see how their developments are for their spaces because they're smaller. They live in smaller apartment spaces, smaller housing than what we do in the U.S. So as the housing market changes over here, I think it'll also change that there.
That makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Housing in the penthouses and more expensive houses are twice, 3 times as much as ours for a third, fourth of the space. So
Wow.
we'll see how they start to reevaluate their market if they'll come back with the same type of ideas that they had before COVID hit and everything. So.
Hey, have y'all seen those shows like on I don't know if it's HGTV, it's like Living Small or something, where they make those super small houses.
Oh yeah, the tiny homes.
Yeah, tiny homes.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll.
Hey, Los Angeles actually put together a whole community of that for some homeless people out there. So that was actually something good. Yeah, they got a lot of tiny homes and they built like a little small area. Well, they designated a small area with the tiny homes and they let the homeless people go over there and stay in them.
Well, if you claustrophobic, boy, that ain't the place for you.
Hey, I like how you can switch them out though. They have like those moving walls and all that type stuff, but they're actually pretty cool.
Now, I would not mind that would be a cheap alternative to like if you want like a lake home or something like that, like just some place that you want to go out to, where it might not be like a permanent thing, or whatever. You just want to own like a little sliver of land so you can go and just go fishing or whatever and be out there, and you don't need a 4,000 square foot spot because you're not going to be there all the time. To me, it would definitely make sense that way.
Good, yeah.
Are those the houses you can buy on Amazon or the printable houses?
Oh wow! Tell us about that one, because I don't know if that's it.
We want to hear a little bit more about that because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, there are small houses you can buy on Amazon. I think they range from like 5,000, like 10,000.
Man,
depending
so
on how
we out
big.
here printing them with an HP printer. Golly.
So when they ship this, how do they ship it? Like you got to put it together. How long does it take to put it together?
They gonna send you the printer, and you gotta print it.
Well, fool, man.
You
said
you'll probably get it.
Might be a crash on that real estate market too, right?
That's a good point.
For the crash on that real estate market too, as you can.
Yeah, I was as if the housing market does drop down, I definitely want to look into it for some opportunities. So I'm sorry to those who already have houses. I'm not like y'all. I apologize.
T Grizzly, he said he praying on your downfall.
What? I rather, in the words of somebody else, I'd rather give on cry than mine. So I'm just looking for an opportunity to do it and get a good investment property or even establish another stream of income. Because that's all it is at the end of the day. So that would be a good way to do it. Good time to look at it.
Well, shoot, I'm joking about the crash, man. This might have been the wrong time for this Compass IPO to come out, and they have over leveraged their IPO and they entry. So this might really take them out of the game, and they just got in the game.
Golly, that's crazy. That is crazy.
That's
So we getting close to our time limit. So let's go ahead and get some picks in for these people. Anybody got any picks that they want to share? I got one. I got one. I got one good one. I got in on it yesterday. I'm making some decent money on it now because the thing was popping after hours. Like this thing shot up real crazy. Ebon, EBON, Ebang. I don't know what that means. It is not porn though.
Hey, I was like, hey, this is a family show. Like, hey, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that Paul Pierce stuff around.
No, we not doing Paul Pierce, man.
Yeah, whatever you do, whatever you do in your personal life, that's your business.
It's some type of Chinese company. So take it up with them.
Raheem trying to make this OnlyFans earlier. So.
Yeah, how's it spelled? The market ticker?
EBON.
BON.
Man, I gotta pick which one, man. Can I give out like a couple of them?
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, I saw some unusual activity going on. Like the market as a whole yesterday wasn't necessarily performing that well, but in any case, in any given time, there's always going to be small pockets of the market that are outperforming average. And yesterday, I saw an uptick in EV related stocks. I had some positions in XL Fleet. I had positions in Ride. I also had positions in Velodyne, VLDR. They do the LiDAR, which is going to be emerging technology in the electric vehicles. All of those, oh my God, they were overperforming yesterday. I mean, they've been at lows, and I guess people are saying enough is enough, and we're buying the dips. So I'm continuing to be bullish on those stocks today, but my new stocks that I would be on the lookout right now that look like steals would be AC. We talked about credit school and them having a negative connotation in the news, but I think that buy point, you can't pass that up. And Fubo TV, I'm buying you. It's time.
And we not saying FUBU.
Not Fubu. Don't buy Fubu, or you're gonna lose your money.
You're gonna lose all your money. For us, by us is not what we're talking about.
I support the brand, but not this time.
Not right now.
oh boy.
I was looking at some of these education stocks, and as campuses and everything start to kind of open, I've been supporting 2U or TWOU is the ticker for it, but that was another one as they continue with virtual learning and having all these video conferencing things, but I don't think that's going to change in the near future. So I was looking at that one, and Bright Horizon Family Solutions.
Okay.
So they're also like a childcare and early education service. So as people start to move maybe towards homeschooling or, teachers obviously aren't going back, but as they do start to roll back and they're doing their video programming or whatever they're showing, those are the companies that are supporting that software. So
cool.
Nice.
Raheem, what you got your eyes on?
I know you got some. I can see it in your glass.
Hey, I'm on the EV way with Jerome, man, with the Motor City boy.
Okay.
I'm around with Ford.
Okay.
Man, I'm with Ford.
Ford, a good one.
That's a good pick right there. Ford, GM. Yeah, those boys. I saw you posted on our chat. And we put in a plug here. We do have a Telegram, live Telegram channel that we're on pretty much during the daytime. But yeah, I went in there when you started talking about that volume increase for Ford, and just like I'm saying, like yesterday, Ford started going up, GM started going up. So I think it's buy time, and I think Tesla was leading the charge on that.
Yeah, most definitely. Pierre, you got anything you want to share with us before we get up out of here? Anything that you looking at rather like stock wise?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm kind of out of time, so I wanted to get into some marijuana stocks.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, I feel like time is. I have to do it for next time, but uh, okay. Well, I don't want to be too long-winded, but as you know, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, after his home state of New York has officially has legalized recreational marijuana. He feels that his thinking has evolved. He feels that the war on drugs has been a war on people of color,
Oh man.
and he feels states that's legalized it. It's worked out pretty well,
Oh
and
man.
all the fears that right and all the fears that they had, none of them really came true, and people in those states are very happy. You know,
Yeah.
so you know he's at the point now. As Senate Majority Leader, he says, you know, they're ready to go ahead and push federal uh, legalization, and ending this prohibition with or without Joe Biden. So that's pretty huge.
Oh
You
wow.
know,
With or without the president.
yeah. So as a result, there are three stocks I recommend for the long hold for this year. And again, if this legalization does happen, uh, three stocks I'm looking at. One is Green Thumb Industries. Second one is Juicy Holdings. The third one is True Live Cannabis. So I'm just gonna go right into it really quickly. Green Thumbs, they're selling at $28 right now. They're expected to go. Their sales were last year were 500 million. They're expected to go to 840 million this year.
Mm.
Juicy Holdings, they're selling at $6 right now, or $6.80, and they're expected to go to uh, 80 million from, I'm sorry, 255 million from 200 million last year. And True Live, they're currently selling at 43.58. They're expected to go to 850 from 521 million last year. So these are the three top uh, marijuana stocks I'd be looking at.
That's good information right there. So you said that my man has mutated his thinking. So
Yeah. He
this
says his
was
thinking has
basically
evolved.
the yeah, this was the mutant show, it
And
seems like.
evolved. He looked at how much money they owe, and they need some tax
Hey
revenue.
man,
That's why
shoot,
I'm
I
doing
need
this
some of
right here.
this. Where is my money?
Is gonna tax that or whatever.
Man,
He
they
ain't
finna make a lot of
going.
money.
And the only way he can get by with bringing that in is to say, yeah, my thinking has evolved or
I
whatever. Right?
have mutated.
Hey, like that. Hey, man, it's multiple winners in this.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some good information though, Pierre. That was really, really good. We like that one. So we just gonna go ahead and tell you guys to subscribe to our website, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and
Like the right.
yeah, like our Facebook, do all that type stuff. And let's hack the markets, baby. Let's make us some money today.
Let's get it.